Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to Apex Racing TV's coverage of the Oceanic Formula 1 Championship here at the Circuit of Americas here in Texas. My name's Scott Newton, and alongside me today is Samuli Kumo. Welcome, Samuli.
Thanks. Yeah, we're back here at the fairly new circuit that is the Circuit of the Americas, originally built for the F1 when it was looking to come back to the United States. It's maybe one of the most technical circuits that we have in the calendar, and it's really divisive among the drivers, and I think that's what we are seeing here tonight with the fairly small grid of 14 cars.
Yeah, definitely. Taking a look at the championship standings at the moment, after the last round at Montreal, currently Evan Lathuris leads the championship 150 points, and in second place Gregory Olsen, 11 points behind him and 139 points. Mitchell McLeod, after a not so strong result last week, but still managed the top 5, sits third at the moment, 2 points behind Olsen. Fourth is Jason Hyde on 118 points, and Chris Moretta running out the top 5, close behind Jason Hyde on 116 points. Ashley Lee currently in 6th on 112 points, Dean Briffer on 110, Matt Webb on 104 points, Hayden Dobman on 99, and Ricky Coles rounding out the top 10 on 95 points.
And thanks for that. And looking at the qualify, we are about 3 minutes remaining here, and it is the familiar names at the top, with Ryan Parkins currently sitting on the pole with 1 minute 47.4, followed by Mitchell McLeod with just 1/10 behind him, and Evan Lathoras 1 minute 37.8, and that is only 3/10 gap to the second place. And after that it is in the 48s, and it is fairly close field regardless of the participation, and usually you see very large differences in this track because some drivers just get it and some don't. And I'm definitely in that latter category. I cannot drive here at all. How about you, Scott?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Yeah, you just got to watch out for the very, very high sausage curbs, especially through sector 1, turns 3 all the way up to turn number 10, and then in the latter half of the lap through 13, 14, 15, and the second to last corner, where there can be quite a hefty off-track or curb there as well, if should you decide to be quite aggressive and try to cut the track there. But yeah, COTA is definitely quite a technical track. Definitely one of those that the fast drivers that really shine. So definitely looking forward to the race around here at COTA.
Yeah, we have about a bit over a minute left, so shall we just go on board and show the track? Is starting at the lap. Mitchell McLeod is just coming through the turn 1, so we might follow him on board here. See here, this is the very difficult section. You have those blind corners and the high yellow curves. You really don't want to hit those. And again, these corners, they feel like they take ages. Now uphill, right-hander here, you can really easily run wide, then tight left, and now long run, but he abandons his lap, so we will not follow him for the rest of the lap.
Just currently on board Evan Lathuris at the moment, currently on the back straight, got his DRS open, coming up into turn 12, just going to try and brake as deep as he can, hits the apex just a little bit wider than he would have liked, but up through 13 as wide as he can. Getting up on the red and white curve there, accelerating hard, taking a wider line through 14 and 15, hard on the power. I definitely want to treat this 16, 17, 18 as one sort of apex, just flipping the curbs nicely there, running out wide for 19 through 20, getting on that sausage curve there, running a little bit wide, through the final corner, touch wide there, and abandons his lap, but as he got the off track on the second last corner. So yeah, definitely Evan trying to push as far as he can at the moment, trying to improve on his 37.6 that he's already managed.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks that you have plenty of runoff area, but in the qualify you cannot really use them because you will get the off-track incident and that invalidates your lap time. As we are about to finish up with these qualifiers and the final few drivers are still completing their laps.
Yeah, currently on board Alan Morgan at the moment. He's coming through the final section of the track up to the second to last corner. Current best lap of a 1 minute 40.8. He's coming through the final corner now. Gets to the apex there, and the hard on the power, opening the DRS, but doesn't manage to improve on a 41.1. So, yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't improve his time, but a solid lap from Alan there.
Yes, it seems like we have Gregory Olson just coming across the finish line here. And does not improve. How about Matthew Norris? And doesn't improve. He went way wide there, and that is most certainly off-track incident. Let's see here. Now that is 2 minute 30. Does not improve and remains 12th. So I think we are good to go over the grid.
So on the pole position, Ryan Parkins takes the pole position on 137.450. Alongside him is Mitchell McLeod, the 1/10 behind Parkins. Third place, Evan Lathoris, close behind McLeod. Bo Albert takes the fourth grid slot. Matt Webb in P number 5. Jason Hyde, P number 6. Ashley Lear, 7th. Matt Webb, 8th. Mohammed Alif, P number 9, and rounding out the top 10 is Alan Morgan. Martin Houston takes the 11th grid slot. Matt Norris in the 12th position. Phil White takes the 13th spot, and Rolf Just rounds out the field in P number 14.
So not a very large grid here, but looking at the times, I think we are still in for some very close racing. And of course we do have the pit stops, so that will shake up the field even more.
Yeah, definitely. Pit stops not mandatory, but can be advised to take one. Definitely be going through the weather conditions during this race, but yeah, we're just waiting for the final couple of drivers to round up onto the grid.
Only waiting for Ryan Parkins right now. Five seconds go. And there he is.
And lights are out, and looks as though that was it Mitchell McLeod got a fairly decent start, and we're 3-1 into turn 1. Is that Olsen trying to go around the outside of Lathoris, but Lathoris manages to maintain position and stay in third place. So it looks as though that we got 3 or 4 wide action further back as we're all trying to get into single file through the twisty third P. So turn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 section. So it looks as though that everyone's managed to find their own bit of space and get through the first sector safely.
Yes, and I'm almost sure that Gregory also might have gotten a jump start penalty there. He moved quite a lot before the last one green, so we'll see what happens there. And very close. Oh, I know who's that. That is Mitchell McLeod. Spins on the exit. Was he able to keep it out of the wall?
Yeah, it looks as though he was able to keep it out of the wall, but I think I saw that Lathoris jumped up on the inside of turn number 11. As we see Lathoris hard on the inside, just parks it on the apex there. McLeod jumping on the green astroturf there and lighting up the rears, and yeah, that can be all the difference of turning it around at that with the reduced traction. So yeah, unfortunate for McLeod, but yeah, he'll be trying to get back up in the field as we see him in the pits.
Yeah, he retired to the pits, so he may have received some suspension damage. And he has now exited the car as well. And as we see, that is Gregory Olsen coming to the pit lane. So most certainly that is the jump start penalty. Meanwhile, at the front, Ryan Parkins lead the field in turn 1, followed by Evan Latoras, Leo Albert, and Muhammad Ali. Also, good battle here for the 5th place between Jason Hyde and Aslier. Jason Hyde, Aslier all over the back of Jason Hyde, but now just dropped back slightly.
Yeah, also see that
Jason,
Hyde putting the pressure on the Leaf there as the Leaf goes wide through turn number 8, but it looks as though that Hyde got a solid exit through turn number 9 and 10 and has to fall back in line. As you see, a Leaf going deep on the brakes and running wide. That'll allow Ashley Lee to close up, but Jason Hyde to get through, and he'll open the DRS. That'll be next time around as they're on lap number 2, but yeah, Hyde getting the jump on a Leaf, and looks as though that Ashley will be trying to put the pressure on as he runs wide into turn number 12.
We do have the DRS and curves available here. Oh, that is Aslier going very sideways. And Matt Webb is doing a good job of not causing any collision there with him. So yeah, as I was saying, we do have the DRS available, so anyone who is within about that 1 second, I think we will see some moves happening here. And Ali again running very wide.
So as I come across lap number 3, Ryan Parkins still leads. Gap currently to Evan Lathoris is 7/10 of a second at the moment. Bo Albert further 2 seconds behind Lathoris, so gap's starting to eke out a little bit, but still quite close battles throughout the field.
Yeah, on that lap I looked back and saw Matthew Norris running into a little bit of trouble, just spinning on the where Jason Hyde just came through right now. No damage, just went off. Maybe some dirt on the tires, but was able to continue, and I don't think he has any damage.
Just having a look at the battle between Martin Houston and Alan Morgan, battle for pin number 8. Last time around, Martin Houston must have got past Alan Morgan, or Alan had a poor sector somewhere, as Houston did a 145.1 compared to Morgan on a 47.4, so looks as though that Morgan's struggling a little bit.
Problem for Aslier. He is all the way around, able to continue, but what happened there?
Just looking back on the replay now as he's coming up into turn 12. Looks as though he just lost it under braking. Looks as though that he had the rear bias too far back, and yeah, just lost it under the braking zone. So yeah, definitely an unfortunate mistake there for Lear, but he continues. Although he might have lost 4 or 5 seconds, but yeah.
Oh, and he spins again out of the front corner. That is most likely end of his race.
Yeah, still continuing on the replay as he's coming through the second to last corner now. And yeah, coming through the final corner. Yeah, he just clipped the grass on the exit of the final corner, and yeah, just unfortunately tagged the inside wall there, and yeah, it looks as though he's got quite heavy suspension damage on the front right there as he's all over the shot. So it looks as though that he'll pull it off to the side of the road, and he'll have to tow from there.
And moving at the front, we do have a good battle going over the first place between Parkins and Latoras. Only 5/10 between them. So this is right in the DRS range.
Yeah, as we jump back to live, Parkins still holds the lead. Gap still fluttering between half a second and 6/10 of a second, so Lotharis trying to get right up to Parkins and apply a little bit of pressure These two have been going at it all season, providing great battles, and yeah, this battle's no exception. So Lathuris trying to get a decent exit out of the final corner quicker last time around, so Gap's still holding at 6/10 of a second.
Oh,
And as he opens up the rear wing, trying to get it closer. Last time around, Lathuris was just over a tenth quicker last time around, so Gap's still holding at 6/10 of a second.
oh, and take a look at Parkin's front of his car. Does it look like he has received some damage to the front wing?
Yeah, it looks as though that Parkins might have clobbered one of those sausage curbs and has a bit of front wing damage, so we'll have to see whether he jumps into the pits around the next 10 or 15 minutes. That would possibly be the optimal chance to take this pit stop, but yeah, it looks as though that Evans stayed away from those curbs and still got an intact wing, so we'll have to see whether that's affecting Parkins as they're heading up to turn number 12 now, but yeah, it looks as though that Parkins is able to maintain the first position.
Yeah, the pace seems still fairly good in the 1 minute 14s, low 14s, and I think with Lathuris he also needs to be careful because Brian Parkins, he is from UK, so his latency is much higher than Lathuris because this is Australian server, so he needs to just pick his moment carefully and not really force any issues, as we've seen in the Championship Series, that there can be problems when drivers with high latency come to the battles. Now
Yeah,
Lathuris is very close and goes for the inside line in the third one. Doesn't quite break late enough.
Yeah, just as you were saying that about the latency, yeah, I definitely know that Evan's been competing well in the iRacing Grand Prix series, and yeah, he'll be definitely well aware of that, competing in the official SOFs. He's been doing quite well, as I've noticed of late, so he's done a really great job proving tonight as he's heading up into turn number 11 now. He'll be trying to get a decent exit through there as Parkins makes a bit of a wider exit onto the back straight. A gap currently 0.3 of a second, so Evan will definitely be trying to make him move as he's about to open up the DRS, and Parkins goes really defensive, and Evan thinks better of it.
Did he open the DRS? Oh, that is very aggressive defense there by Parkins. It didn't look like the DRS was opening for Lathuris there, as Parkins runs wide on the entry. I think Parkins must be definitely suffering with that damage because his car appears to be all over the place. And this might even give opportunity for Vio Albert to catch up to these guys.
Yeah, Bo last time around was only 0.2 of a second slower last time around, but the gap still between Lathuris and Albert was 2.4 seconds and climbing, so yeah, Lathuris with the DRS open can't really do anything at the moment with Parkins on the inside, but Lathuris gets great traction out of turn number 1, but Parkins also gets a great exit as well, so the damage for Parkins is neutralised to a certain extent, but we'll just have to wait and see whether Parkins will have to come into the pits and Lathuris stays out.
And also, don't count out Jason Hyde. His previous lap time was 9/10 faster than the leaders, so he is also catching up very quickly.
Yeah, Jason Hyde's last lap was the fastest lap of the race. About 0.5 or half a second quicker than Albert, so third and fourth place are quicker than the leaders at the moment, so we'll just have to wait and see whether their battling can be sorted out, or whether the third and fourth place will be able to catch up.
Let's see, do we have any other battles going on behind them? There might be something happening between Alan Morgan and Martin Houston for the second place. just under 1 second apart, and Alan Morgan has been dropping way back from Matt Webb. And Martin Houston, DRS is open, catching up very quickly. Down to 4 tenths into the braking zone. Might be a move going on here once we get to the main straight.
Yeah, we'll just have to see whether Houston can close up on the back of Morgan. Houston currently up 4 positions from his starting position, doing a great job. Last time around 43.2, but it looks as though that he must have run wide somewhere and jumped one of the track limits, so we'll have to see what his lap time is this time around. As it's come across the line at 46.3, Morgan last time around at 43.8, so it looks as though that Morgan got past Houston and Houston made a mistake last time around somewhere.
Okay, that does make sense. Because I believe Morgan... was he quicker in the qualifying? Let's see. Yeah, his qualify was 1 minute 40.8, whereas for Martin Houston it was 41.3. Just looking at the lap times as well. Well, not a huge difference in the race lap times. Oh, and Alan Morgan spins. I believe that is the same spot where we saw Mitchell McLeod spinning on the lap 1.
Yeah, it was. I'm just going to have a quick look back on replay just to see whether he ran wide or whether it was just putting too much power down as he goes through turn 11, or he just loses the back end, gets the car straight and then tries to apply the ARS, but yeah, just has to feed the power on, but yeah, loses that place to Martin Houston, and gap currently 1.9 seconds, but closing in very, very slowly.
And around him there's... well, the gaps are opening up. So really the main battle we have going on has been between Houston and Morgan, and as well as between the 2 leaders, Parkins and Latoras. So you were talking with was it Evan before the race? Did he share any tips on what the pit strategy will be?
No, unfortunately, he didn't share any strategies on the pit. Well, any tips on the pit strategy, but looking from the A-Class series in the official series, this is roughly the same sort of race distance or timed distance, but typically you would see the drivers pit in around about 20% of the time, or yeah, 20% of the distance in the race to 33%, and then just running it home just as they've burnt off the fuel and trying to maximise the life of the tyre throughout the race.
And again, very close between here and Houston and Morgan. And Morgan goes the inside line and makes the pass, but runs wide on the exit. But I believe Houston just... sorry, that was Morgan who was making the pass. And makes it clean, yes.
It's also worth noting that Greg Olsen, currently pin number 9, as well, is closing up quite rapidly to the battle of Houston and Morgan. So we'll just have to wait and see how Olsen is able to make his way through the traffic. Currently only 7 seconds behind this battle, but throughout the field, just running through at the moment. I've got Parkins leading Latoris, only 8 tenths of a second behind him. Bo Albert further 4.6 behind Latoris. Jason Hyde 6 seconds behind Albert, and running out the top 5 is Muhammad Ali, 17 seconds behind Jason Hyde.
Oh, and problems between Matthew Norris and Rob Just. Rob Just is... that seems to be like the final corner. Just comes in, turns it beast power and spins it. Tsunoda is just able to avoid it. Just gets moving, but again spins, trying to recover. But fortunately no damage and should be able to carry on. Yeah, and also a point I was about to make about Gregory Olson, he is currently out of his position, like where he would be normally. He did receive that penalty on the start for getting a little bit too excited to get going and receive the penalty for jumping to start. So he has been making his way back up. Just looking at this lap times, yes, he's very rapidly closing into this 7th place battle between Morgan and Houston. 5 seconds faster than Houston on the previous time by, and let's see what happens here. Houston 1 minute 44.6, Gregor Olson 41.2, so again, that is about 3.4 seconds gained on that lap alone. We still have 37 minutes remaining, so he should be able to catch up to these guys fairly easily.
Yeah, just as Olsen crossed the line, the battle of Morgan and Houston were approaching turn number 1, so basically half of the pit straight is what the gap is at the moment. But I see that looks as though that Olsen's closed in about another 7 or 8 tenths just in this first 2 sectors alone. So definitely Olsen hard on the charge, trying to recover from where he was. I think he qualified 4th place, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he was on the inside line, so I think that is 5th. Because at least on this track the pole position is on the inside line of turn 1. Again, the gap is just visually coming down very quickly. Now only 2.5 seconds. We'll see what kind of battle Houston and Morgan put up with him. But I don't think the overtaking, especially if you're that much faster, I don't think it's that difficult in this car, thanks to the DRS and the batteries.
Yeah, definitely go on board with Olsen now. He just runs a little bit wide on the edge of the final corner. Yeah, you can definitely see the battle up ahead there in the distance as Olsen approaches turn number 1, hits the apex nicely, gets hard on the power, then not a lot of wheel spin, it carries on through turns 3, 4, 5, 6, it gets as close to the yellow socks without damaging the nose. Quite a smooth line section of the track as he approaches turn number 8. Goes over the red and white. You definitely want to set it up for turn number 9 as he does beautifully through 10. You don't want to have a lot of steering input to maximise the speed. Hard on the brakes. Through 11, clips the apex nicely. Reduces the steering angle and hard on the power into the DRS zone. But yeah, not close to 5 seconds behind. He'll have the DRS probably on the pit straight, so through 12, yeah, visually closer now, through 13, wider as you can, hits the apex nicely, feeds the power on, don't want to wheel spin too much as we've seen people getting too early on the power and whipping the car around, but through 17, 18, 19, treating it as one apex really. Over to the right for the second last corner, as he locks the brakes there, has to watch out for Houston there as he does, and through the final corner, hard on the power, and he opens up the DRS, and that was a lap around COTA.
I was also watching Houston's car there, and it does seem like he has some damage to the left side board and the floor, maybe the nose wing as well. So nose you can still change on the pit stop, but any kind of floor damage, that is just too much to repair. So it will affect him for the rest of the race. Just quickly taking a look at Morgan's car, and his car seems to be fine, so I don't think it is anything that has happened between them. As Gregory Olson is right behind Morgan, Houston right now. Takes the outside line, thinks about it. Looks like he just is waiting for this straight that seems to be the favored overtaking spot. Should have the DRS. DRS opens. Closing in. Takes the inside line into braking. An easy pass. Runs a little bit wide on the exit.
Yeah, and then Austin has the preferred line for turn number 13, so yeah, I think Houston facilitated that pass into turn number 12, allowing Austin up on the inside. I think Austin thought it was inevitable, so thought it would be best to not cost him too much time, and it looks as though that Austin's right on the gearbox of Morgan already, so as he's only 0.2 of a second away, as he's trying to go up the inside of Morgan on the final corner, but thinks better of it, but gets a better exit out of the final corner, and he'll have the DRS as he opens it now. And across the start finish line he'll make the overtake into turn number 1, and Morgan facilitates the pass, but also Houston tightening up the inside.
Yeah, Houston made use of that very opportunistic move there by Houston. Was able to make the pass when Morgan was letting Olsen by. So I think that is your best chance when you are just approached by a much faster car behind and you are in the battle. Just follow the guy's faster guy closely and find the opportunity to use his move to your advantage. As we have changed for the lead, Latoras is ahead of Parkins by half a second. And what happened here? I believe that might have been in the final corner. No, it wasn't. Just trying to find out what happened.
Yeah, I just entered into turn number 12, and it looks as though that Parkins run a little bit wide, and Lothoris forced a mistake there and took full advantage of that through turn number 13, 14. Great move from Lothoris there to force the issue there and make Parkins go wide, and yeah, Lothoris takes the lead after 13 laps, being in second place.
And Parkins is fighting right back at it. Same place, but now Parkins is ahead of Latoras. So this lead battle is really heating up here with 30 minutes to go. We are not even halfway through, and Latoras might have tagged Parkins just slightly behind, and is that damage to the rear suspension of Parkins' car? I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either, because yeah, I'm not sure whether Evan will have to redress that because of the contact which allowed him to overtake. But we'll have to see whether Parkins is able to close back up. Just crossed 25 minutes elapsed in this race. We've got just under half an hour to go, so we'll have to see whether these two jump in the pits within the next 5 or 10 minutes or so to get fresh tyres.
I do see that Laturos has some damage to his front wing. And well, Parkins, he does have he has been running with the damaged front wing, so I don't know if the erratic driving that looks like it is due to the bump, as they are approaching the slab traffic here.
Yeah, was it Matthew Norris jumps
well out there was miscommunication, and Parkins is able to sneak by. Laturas got really badly held up by... was that Olson?
No, I think it might have been Matthew Norris that was one of the red and white
No,
cars.
it was Phil White. Yeah, Matthew Norris is in the white car and Phil White is in the red car. So that was a miscommunication between Latoras and White. which cost him the first place.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the pit lane time is if one of the drivers decides to pit. The fastest lap between each of the drivers is very close. It's only half a tenth difference between the two leaders, so we'll have to see whether Loth will be able to close up. He's just got the DRS open. He'll be gaining kilometers an hour over Parkins, but damaged front wing, that might be an even greater delta in terms of speed, so we'll have to see if Forrest can close up even in the dirty air.
Yeah, I think this next DRS zone that we are coming up shortly, there we will really see the difference in the top speed and if there is any kind of damage that is affecting Horus, because it seems like he is not able to follow as closely as before. And even losing time as we compare. Something happened to Albert. And he has spun. Where is that? That is coming towards. Well, no damage there. I don't know if you got it on cameras.
I'm just having a look in the replay. It looks as though that he compromised his line through 5 and 6. Yeah, I can't see anything.
Sorry to cut you off there, but Lotoros has crashed. He has crashed at the final section of the track. Just gets on the power too early and hits the barrier. And this might be his race over.
Yeah, he clipped the inside curve at turn number 14 there, and yeah, that's definitely where you don't want to clip the curve, as he might have had a bit too much steering angle and a bit too much power, and yeah, just caused the back end to slide around, and yeah, unfortunately put him in the wall. So with the Thoris being out of the race, yeah, that definitely eases the pressure off Ryan Parkins. Gap currently between Parkins and Albert is 15 seconds, so it looks like that Parkins will be in cruise control mode until the end of the race. We've still got 25 and 3/4 minutes to go.
Yes, that is assuming he doesn't have any mandatory repairs of the pit stops, if he does do that. Because those can still take time. But behind him we have a fairly good battle coming up here between Albert and Hyde. Hyde has been closing up to Albert, especially with Albert having trouble on the previous lap. The gap is now down to 1.5 seconds. As Albert gets pretty good exit out of that corner. He's not quite close enough for the DRS.
Yeah, just as I said, that Hyde taking the red and white curve on the entry to 12, quite bumpy through there, and but manages to pull it up through 14.50.
Yeah, and he also ran a little bit wide on the entry.
Yeah,
and also I can tell you, I can also tell you that Martin Houston has taken his chance to take the pit stop right now, as has Gregory Olson on this lap. Houston was about, Houston's lap pit stop was about 3.5 seconds, and for Olson 6.5. So maybe Olson just took a little bit more fuel.
I also see that Hyde's decided to jump in the pit, so he'll be taking fresh as MP430 to have the predetermined fuel at the start of the race and can't refuel, so Hyde's pit stop was a 4.3 second stop, so relatively standard pit stop from Hyde, so he rejoins back in 5th place.
And these pit stops really spread out the field here, with the closest being between 3rd place for Alif and Macweb. Neither of them have pitted yet. So I think now we'll see what Albert is able to do against Hyde. He really needs to put in some fast laps here if he is not, if he is pitting. But if he's not, then we'll see how the tires hold up. So currently 8 cars on the lead lap, I believe, but Taurus is the last car who hasn't been lapped, and he has made it back on the track. It was very long pit stop, so he is currently 90 seconds behind leader. And that is how... Well, he might be able to catch Alan Morgan and Gregory Olsen, but we'll see. He has been very quick, but we'll have to see if there is any damage remaining on his car. This is just his outlap, so we don't get repairs. Or will this be the first fast lap here? We'll see. As Albert comes to the pits, 4.2 seconds. And no drama there. Rejoins the track, enters turn 1, following Alif, who has not yet taken a pit stop. And Alif, major tank per moment out of turn 1, but is able to save it.
Yeah, there was a lap car between Bo Albert and Jason Hyde, so yeah, Hyde compromised just a little bit, but yeah, the lap traffic dives out of the way, so yeah, battle resumes between Albert and Hyde for the battle for P4. So looking at the lap times between Alif, Albert and Hyde, yeah, it looks as though that they'll be right on the back of Alif, but it looks as though that Alif had a bit of a moment through the previous lap, so we'll just have to wait and see what his lap time will be the next time around.
I'm also keeping an eye on Olson, who has been just moving up all throughout the race after the penalty at the start. So we'll see if he is able to catch up to Hyde and Albert. As now Albert is very close to Alif. Alif maybe a little bit wide on the exit there. He's able to hold his position, but Albert is very close to Dance. Again, Aleph clips the inside curve a little bit too much, and Aleph dives into the pits. So now the battle for third place is between Albert and Hyde.
Yeah, Albert got the effect of the DRS between being 1 second of Alif as he dived into the pits through the detection zones, so that's why Albert had DRS open where normally he would normally not have the DRS being the car in front of Jason Hyde, but yeah, with the gap between him and Matt Webb being 5.8 seconds, yeah, he won't have the effect of the DRS through the next excavation point, as Matt Webb doing a stellar job forward is behind Harkins, but yeah, it hasn't currently in second time around a 42.7 last time around, so only 1.4 seconds off his best time, but yeah, doing really consistent laps.
And for the first place, Olson has now caught up to Alep, who took the chance to get a new front wing on his pit stop. Olson only 7 behind, I think. Yes, this is close enough for the DRS, and I'm surprised if we don't see Olson make a move here. Closing in rapidly, Alif defended the inside line. And Olson is not able to make a pass this time around, but Alif ran a little bit wide. Was able to recover it. And I think Olson might have to wait for the main straight for his next opportunity. At the same time, it's also close for third place between Albert and Hyde. Only 5 tenths going into that turn 1. And now into this twisty section here, Hyde needs to follow closely to just keep up and get the DRS for the next straight. Jason had gotten quite a lot of that right side inside curve there. Doesn't seem like there's any major issues with slowdowns on this track. I haven't actually personally driven a whole lot here. Do you have experience with this track?
Only mainly in the Formula Renault. Similar sort of style, being an open wheeler car, but yeah, the off tracks are quite brutal as with Hyde having DRS open, unable to make the pass, getting very close, only 0.4 of a second gap. But yeah, it was Albert running quite a lot wider than Albert, just really on the defensive as he clips the inside curb there at turn 16. He's really having to be defensive as he pitted one lap. Yeah, it looks as though that he's got the tyres up to temperature, but yeah, just having cover is kind of really affecting him through the back section of the track, and yeah, we're too long before Hyde decides to make a move if he does into turn 1, as he's got DRS open. Oh, as he makes contact as well. Yeah, just with that overspeed there, Coverwise is braking pointed a little bit, but yeah, Hyde falls back to 7 seconds behind Albert. Bit of an unfortunate mistake there from Hyde as he was right up with the gearbox there, putting all sorts of pressure on Albert, but yeah, forces his own mistake, and yeah, that kind of cost him the third, as we've got just over 16 minutes to go.
Yeah, I think it just... I'm looking at the replay. It seems like Hyde kind of went for it and then pulled back, and just Albert closed the door. Wasn't really a commitment from either of the drivers, so it just, that is a racing incident in my opinion. So we got 16 minutes remaining, so let's take stock of the standings so far. Parkins is leading, and with Matt Webb second, but neither of them have been to the pits. I'm sorry. No, that is Pierre Albrecht second, and Matt Webb is third. Yes. Jason Hyde fourth, Mohamed Alef fifth, Gregory Olson sixth, Evan Torres seventh, Alan Morgan eighth, and Martin Houston ninth. And 10th is Rob Just, 11th Phil White, and 12th Matthew Norris, and 2 retirees are Lear and McLeod. And it seems like Ryan Parkins is leading by quite a gap, that is 41 seconds over second place Bio Alpar.
Yeah, I have a feeling that if Parkins decides to pit, I think he would rejoin in the lead, so even with a 4.3 second stop in the pit lane, yeah, I think with the pit lane time being about 35 to 38 seconds, yeah, I think he would still rejoin in the lead, so it just depends on whether he has damage that it will affect his pit lane time, and whether he rejoins in first place or back behind Albert in second.
Yeah, just looking at that gap and his lap times, unless the tires just suddenly give out, I don't think he might be just looking to not take the pit stop at all, because it is a risk that he will be forced to make some repairs that will take much longer, and could risk his first place position here. Let's see here, Matt Webb, he hasn't pitted yet, and he's currently running third. His lap time, last lap was 43, and Jason Hyde behind him is 3 seconds faster, so regardless of whether he pits or not, I don't think he will be holding on to that third place for very long. In fact, even Ali, Olson and Torres, all of them are running much faster than Maltese right now. So that is 5th, 6th and 7th that are approaching very quickly to the third place man, Matt Webb.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Bo Albert got past Matt Webb on the last time around, but yeah, definitely 43.0, definitely showing signs of tyre wear. Given we've hit just over 40 minutes elapsed in this race, as Jason Hyde's definitely applying all sorts of pressure. He's got the DRS open, but yeah, after the contact with Bo Albert, I think he thinks better of it. That yeah, gets a much better exit out of turn number 12 and tries to go around the outside. Quite a tricky move if you do pull it off, but it can be done as he's got the inside line and preferred line to turn number 16, and yeah, I think Matt Webb facilitates the pass there, allowing Jason Hyde to take the final podium position.
Yeah, it really looks like he just opened the door, and maybe, especially in these cars where the car is moving around so quickly, you don't want to take any risks, especially if you are 3 seconds off the pace compared to another driver. It may be just in your best interest to let him by and maybe try to catch up the DRS. Because realistically, he is currently, well, just trying to run his pace and hold on to the, that is currently third place. Yeah, third place as Ryan Parkins does come into the pit and he has taken the repair tow, so he has had an issue somewhere. And where is that? He has been to the wall. That is in the hair, coming out of the hairpin. If you have the replay on screen.
Yeah, just coming out of turn 11. Yeah, same as McLeod, and it was Alan Morgan having that issue on the exit of turn 11. Yeah, just looks as though he's got rear suspension damage, and yeah, unfortunately that's put him out of the chances of the win. So Bo Albert inherits the lead. Current gap to Matt Webb is 8.3 seconds, so I'm not sure what happened to looks as though that Jason Hyde's had a bit of an issue somewhere as well.
Yeah, he is way behind Matt Webb right now.
Yeah, as he makes a mistake out of turn number 9. Just gets hard on the power, but yeah, just breaks traction and yeah, ends up in the outside wall, so be a bit of front wing damage as he comes around turn number 11 there, as we can visually see. And he's got front wing damage, so yeah, Hyde's had an issue there, but still maintains the final podium position. But yeah, a bit of an unfortunate mistake there, as he looks as though that he was going to challenge Albert for the win, but yeah, unfortunately with that mistake, it looks as though that he's out of contention for the win.
Yeah, looking at the standings right now, I don't think anyone could have guessed that we would have Albert, Webb and Ali for the top 3, and all of the front runners in the championship are basically out of the position to even challenge for the lead. Albert, I don't think he has even raced before this season in the previous races. Webb is currently 8th, and Ali, where is he currently in the standings? I could swear I saw him in the previous rounds, but I cannot see him in the standings at all. So is this also his first race?
Yeah, I think this could possibly be his first race, unless he's been to the first one, which was at, if I recall correctly, that was at.
Last week we were at Montreal, before that we were at Spa.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks as though that this is Alif's first race as well. I can't see him in the championship standings as well. So Alif doing a stellar job at the moment. Just ticked under 9 minutes to go. So first podium position for Alif. Yeah, definitely could be a strong one. Given that gap between himself and Olsen at the moment is 4.4 seconds. Looks as though that Olsen's had an issue last time around. Last time he did a 42.6. compared to his best time of a 40.7, so it must have been a small issue, maybe lap traffic or just a half spin.
Yes, and just, well, Ricky Olson, let's see if he is able to catch up to Ali. But regardless, it's going to be a great recovery drive from Olson. He was pretty much almost dead last on the first lap after having to serve the pit stop right away. Jason Hyde, he is still running currently 5th, 1.3 seconds behind Olson. And that is also Let Horace and 6th place. Not too far behind Jason Hyde. And 7th is Ryan Porkins again. So basically, our front leaders are currently all together in the midfield, while the new names populate the top spots. Okay, here Hyde is very close to Olson, so we might see some moves happening here on the main straight. Only 3 turns between them. Olson defending the inside line. Hyde has to follow back for now. I think at this point he is just looking to maintain the smoke. Oh, that is almost a contact. Just is able to avoid it. Now 3 tenths into the final corner. And he should be able to make the pass with DRS here. Wing is open. Does he move to the inside line? Yes, he does. Breaks deep. Takes the inside line cleanly, and Olson doesn't seem to be fighting much for that. And now the next target for Hyde, yeah, is Alef. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I was going to say that it looks as though that Olson's currently on the same set of tyres as what he was at the start of the race. Or if he did take tyres, they are 27 laps old compared to Hyde's. Much fresher, probably I would say 15 to 17 laps fresher tyres for Hyde. So yeah, definitely the newer tyres showing their difference in the overtake between Hyde and Olson, but also having the effect of the DRS as well, as Hyde's managed to open up a 1.2 second gap, but also Lathoris right up on the back of Olson as well, looking up the inside, but yeah, definitely not close enough up into turn 12.
Yeah, Olson definitely struggling with the old tires here. And I would expect Lathoris to just do the same as Hyde on the previous lap and just cover the pass with the DRS open into the turn 1. Assuming he can keep up, because on this section it seems like Lathoris is falling back. Now he's closing up again. It seems like it's just difference on what are the better corners for each driver. And now only 4 tenths between them, and there goes the DRS for Lathoris. Closing in very rapidly, and I suspect he will be taking the inside line, and he does. Olson is slightly fighting back, but not too hard. And Lathoris is through for the 5th place. Also, we might have a decent battle going on for the 10th place as well, between Phil White and Matthew Norris. They've been fairly close for the previous lap as well. That was almost too close through there on the corner exit, as Phil White is a bit slow through there, and Matthew Norris 2 tenths behind him. Fiercely fighting for the 10th place. Now coming out of the final corner, Norris is close enough to get the DRS. And will he go for the overtake? Wing is open. Closing in. Goes for the inside line, thinks about it. Phil White defends it. And Norris is through. Maybe not as clean, but it was still hard fought by Phil White as well.
Yeah, it looked as though that Phil White was trying to close the door, but just outbraked himself, and that allowed Matthew Norris to jump up into the final 10th position. So great job from Matthew Norris to jump up into the top 10. It looks as though that Phil White was just letting was that one of the leaders through?
Yes, I believe that must have been. That is Alan Morgan, currently running in 8th place.
Okay, so so Phil back in 11th place. Just with letting Alan Morgan through, the gaps opened up to just over 4 seconds. So yeah, traffic playing a great part in those battles there.
That is yes, Alan Morgan is 8th, and behind him. Let's see, that is it that about 10 seconds behind him is Martin Houston, who is currently the last car, still on the lead lap. Pierre Albert is very close to him, so he might get the lap down before the end of this race. I think we will get maybe 2 or 3 laps at this pace.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at that leader now, Bo Albert. It's coming around the final quarter now with a 1 minute 42 lap. I reckon we'll be able to, about 2 laps to go from where we are now. So as he comes across the line to start lap number 31. Last time around he did a 42.0. Last time around Matt Webb 43.4, but I'll just see what his lap time is this time around. So he had a small issue last time around, but it looks as though he's had an even bigger issue last time. So lap number 30 he did a 48.7, so it definitely looks as though that he's struggling on his current set of tyres, as Alip is only 3 seconds behind him and currently 8.3 seconds a lap faster at this pace.
Yeah, it is only 2 laps at this point, and we are on lap 32 actually. I think if you're using the same overlays as me, then it doesn't report it. It reports how many we've completed. But yeah, only closing in rapidly. And let's see if Matweb is able to keep it clean. That's only 2 seconds behind him, and if he is able to match the same lap times as Alip, he should be able to defend it. But the laps he's been running, Alip has been at least a second faster every single time, so this might be a close battle for the second place before the end of this race. And also close battle for the third place with Alip and Jason Hyde. Hyde only 3 tenths behind him, and yeah, this might actually be Jason Hyde challenging Matt Webb, because here comes Jason Hyde, takes the outside line. Wasn't able to, and almost lose the control of the car. That was maybe a bit impatient by Jason Hyde, because he should be able to make the pass here with the DRS much easier than trying the outside line through those corners. And the DRS is open again. Let's see, Alep defends the inside line. And Jason Hyde not able to make a pass, but Alep runs wide, and here comes Jason Hyde.
Yeah, great
that is Hyde, yeah.
Yes, so great move from Hyde there from a long way back, but yeah, jumps up into the final podium position. But yeah, Alif, as Hyde makes a mistake, he's falling back.
And Jason Hyde is in the wall.
As yeah, I've gone a little bit too far back on the replay, but just as he comes through turn number 2, it looks as though he's gone through 3, 4, and 5 quite cleanly. But yeah, just loses the back end at coming through 7 and 8.
Yeah, just too much power on the exit, and the car was undrivable after that. And we have a checkered flag, and that is Albert coming through to take his first win of the season.
Yeah, congratulations to Bo Albert as he takes his maiden win for round number 3 of the Oceanic Formula 1 Championship here at Circuit of the Americas. Congratulations to him. Muhammad Alif, looks as though that he will take the second position. Or was very, very close between. Was that Matt Webb and Evan Lathoris? They maintain their position, so Muhammad Ali takes to the second position. Matt Webb rounds out the podium for his first podium of the season. Lathoris has a great recovery drive to finish fourth. Greg Olsen recovers to fifth place after his pit lane penalty at the start for jumping the green lights. Ryan Parkins, solid drive from him, but yeah, unfortunately had a spin which cost him the win as he comes around the final corner and he finishes P number 6. Got Alan Morgan currently coming through turn number 12 and 13. He will overtake Jason Hyde as he crosses the line for P number 7. Get to Houston at the moment. 3.6 seconds. It looks as though they've got a bit of lap traffic. Who is that? Is that Matt Norris? Ahead of him?
Yes, white card, that is Matt Norris.
So, yeah, Morgan ran in the final corner now. As he comes across the line, he will finish P number 7. Great drive from him. I think he started back into the top 10, so great drive from him. Houston finishes 8th. Norris, I think, will round out the top 10, given Jason Hyde. Started the 32nd lap, or sorry, the 33rd lap, and then was that Ralph Jost coming into the pit lane as he completes his race. So unfortunately, rounds out the finish is in 12th place.
That was the grid. Let's see, how are we looking on the time? Let's just asking because last week we ran over quite a bit. So do we have time for the interviews?
Yeah, I'll just check in 1 second.
In the meantime, I will. Yeah. Go on.
I was just gonna say, if you could run through the upcoming broadcasts coming up this week on Apex Racing TV as well.
Yeah, I was about to do that. Tomorrow we will have the Club 73. That is basically the weekend broadcasts this time around. The Euro V8 Supercars will return next week. And let's see if I can get the calendar open here. We should have the Rigmotech Sportcast series on Thursday at 2 AM GMT, and BSR Renault on Tuesday as well, 8 PM UK time. BSR Kia Pro this time around, just the BSRTC Kia races on Thursdays again at 7:30 PM UK time, and then we're back to the Friday with Oceanic F1 at the same time. It is 11:30 GMT.
Thanks very much for that, Sam. Just wanted to let everyone know, if you are interested in this Oceanic F1 League, the way to get involved is to head over to oceanicf1.com or search the Club As Australia New Zealand forum if you have access to that, or I think they may have a post in the McLaren MP430 section in the iRacing forums. Also on Facebook, there is a Oceanic Formula 1 Championship Facebook group, so if you want to get involved, it would be best to contact the admins over on that page there to get involved. It is a worldwide league, so we do have drivers from all over the world, not just Australia and New Zealand, so everyone is welcome. So it is a great option if you are available for this time slot to get involved. If you also want to get in some pre-season practice for the iRacing Grand Prix Pro Series coming up in Season 4 of 2017.
Yes, and because the schedule has now been changed to follow the official series, you don't need to worry about having to develop 2 different setups for 2 different tracks each week. So you can use the same setup and work and run the 2 official series. I mean this one and the official series at the same time. So it is not a huge time commitment, and I think well worth your time if you are interested in racing this car. So looking at the down here on the channels, and I don't think we have anyone for the interview, and we are way over the 1 hour, so we might have to wrap this up right now. So yeah, if you would please.
Yeah, not a problem, Sam. So this has been Apex Racing TV's coverage of the Oceanic Formula 1 Championship here at Circuit of the Americas for round number 3. Next week we will be at, if I can get the...
it will be the official iRacing series. Can we see the schedule on the site?
Yeah, I'm just trying... just when we...
Okay. Well, we do have a Matt Webb down there, but okay, don't worry about it. Let's just wrap this up. You can see the next broadcast on this Apex Racing TV YouTube channel. We will be putting it up, so you won't miss it if you subscribe. So my name is Samuli Kumo, and alongside me has been Scott Newton. This has been the Oceanic F1 Championship, brought to you by Nuve and Ask Medica. And thank you for watching, and make sure to tune in next week for another round, and also tomorrow for the Club 73. And thank you for watching.
When I sat in the car, you always wonder, what's it going to feel like? You know, it was my first time driving a mid-engine GT car. You know, my thoughts were, wow, this is really good for our first time in a car. I was really surprised by it. You're sitting low. You got the A-pillars at steep angles, the windshields at steep angles. You can see the fender flares. I think we have a chance to win. Everything's got to go right, but I think we have a car that can win the race or be on the podium. But can you imagine how cool that would be to go back 50 years later to the year and do it?